Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome back. Brent here. Today we're coming to you with some Tesla news for the month of January 2020. It's going to be a lot of information, so it might be a little bit longer, but stick around. Somewhere in here we're going to talk about a 500 subscriber giveaway that we're doing right now, so stay tuned. We'll be right back after the intro. All right, guys, so let's just jump right into it. This month, we found out that 2019 was a very busy, very good year for Tesla, as they sold over 350,000 cars for the year, which is a 50% increase over 2018 numbers. Specifically of note, in the Netherlands, fourth quarter brought just under 17,000 sales to round out the year with just under 31,000 sales in the country alone. Next closest competitor was Toyota with just under 15,000 sales for the entire year. Also, right next door in Norway, 55% of all new cars in 2019 were EVs. And a big part of that is Tesla. The Model 3 being affordable, being available, and just being fun to drive and fun to use, the EVs are definitely taking over in those countries. Also in the news, Edmunds.com, the car reviewers reviewed the Model 3 and said it is the #1 best EV that you can buy. A lot of factors were taken into consideration and a bunch of different cars were taken into consideration, but not surprisingly, the Tesla Model 3 beat them all. Edmunds also took note of the Cybertruck and praised it for its revolutionary and unique design and appearance. Now, that is the most polarizing factor of the vehicle, is the look, the design, the style, and whether you like it or not, it's clear to see that there is a lot of interest for Cybertruck, as Tesla received over 250,000 reservations for the vehicle shortly after unveiling. If you look at what that means in terms of revenue, at $100 per reservation, Tesla raised $25 million just on promises to buy the vehicle. Tesla has continued to expand its supercharger network to over 16,000 stalls in over 1,800 locations, with the newest additions being up in the Arctic Circle. They've added 8 locations there in Finland, Sweden, and Norway. The new supercharging stations will be version 3 supercharger stations, which means you're going to get 250 kilowatts out of those charging stations. They're also retrofitting a lot of supercharging stations around the world. And what this means, with that kind of power, you're getting approximately 1,000 miles of range per hour. So on a 300-mile car, you're charging from empty to completely full in 20 minutes or less. Also on the supercharging side, Ionity, a major competitor for Tesla, adjusted their prices this month. Tesla also adjusted prices to account for just minor power draws while you're in the car at the supercharger, but it's still, Tesla is 3 times cheaper than Ionity. Ionity's new price structure brings their charging up to 88 cents per kilowatt, and Tesla is at about 28 cents per kilowatt, and this is on average. In some other locations, Tesla is even cheaper than 28 cents per kilowatt, but on average, 3 times cheaper than the next closest competitor. Tesla announced their 3rd generation wall charger that you can mount at your house to be able to charge the car. The new wall charger has a lighter, shorter cable. It went from a 24-foot to an 18-foot cable. Makes it a little bit easier to use. They also added Wi-Fi capability so you can get over-the-air updates, and the wall charger is pushing about 11.5 kilowatts to the vehicle, which means you're getting about 44 miles of range per hour as you charge on this wall charger. Price point is set at $500, which is the same as all the other wall chargers have been. So I know when I get back to the States to get another Tesla, I will be buying that. And if you don't already have one and don't have a mobile charger, or are buying a car that doesn't come with a mobile charger, I highly recommend getting the Tesla wall charger. In hacking news, Tesla has agreed to participate in Pwn to Own, which is a hacking competition where hackers come and try to hack the company's products. Last year, Tesla participated and 2 hackers were able to walk away with a Model 3 as they were able to gain access into the firmware. This year, Tesla is back, offering another Model 3 to any hacker that can hack into the car. This is important because Tesla has obviously been really focused on safety of the vehicles. They're also looking at security of the vehicles. They don't want anything to happen, and they want to make sure, being as the car is a computer on wheels, that no one can modify the software, firmware, or gain access to your vehicle without you knowing. Early this month in Shanghai, China, Giga Factory 3 came online. Elon Musk flew out personally for the ceremony, during which he delivered some of the made in China Model 3s to the first owners, some of the factory workers. Initial operating numbers was about 1,500 cars per week. They've since ramped that up to about 3,000 Model 3s produced per week. During the ceremony, he also announced that Model Y would be produced at this location. Now, about halfway through the month, Tesla decided to change the price, drop the price a little bit on the made in China Model 3. This was a smart move as it undercut all other competitors and resulted in a surge of orders coming in. They've been receiving about 1,200 orders per day for the Model 3 in China, which results to about 375,000 cars per year, if this is kept up, that they'll need to produce. Now, Giga Factory 3 still has plenty of room on the property, and construction and improvements are continuing, so we'll see if they're able to meet these numbers or if there's going to be any kind of delay. There is definitely a large parking lot that you can see in photos, just ready and waiting for new cars to roll off the line. Giga Factory 4 that's coming to Germany hit a couple hurdles that they had to get through early this month. They had to cut down some trees, replant some trees, they had to move some animals and some endangered bats. They also had to contend with unexploded ordnance. Now, back in the 40s, there was a pretty big war that happened over here in Europe, World War II, and some of that ammo, some of the bombs, some of those explosives are still in the ground. So because of this, they've restricted the area where Giga Factory 4 is going to be built. You cannot get in there. They're not letting anybody else in there. They do have some access roads set up already for vehicles, equipment to move in, and we're expecting construction to actually begin on the structure, on the building, around March timeframe. Over in the UK, icing is now a crime. If you don't know what icing is, that's where an internal combustion engine, an ICE car, parks in an electric vehicle charging spot. Now the problem with this is if the regular car, the gas car, is parked in that spot, the electric vehicle can't charge, and they have to wait or go somewhere else. Now, we've seen this throughout the States where people have blocked charging stations on purpose, or they're just doing it to be rude, or maybe they just don't know. But now in the UK, they've passed a law, it's actually a crime, and you can get fined for doing it. So electric vehicle owners should be able to breathe a little bit easier, knowing that they shouldn't have to contend with that for very much longer. All right, let's take a break real quick and let's talk about the giveaway. 500 subscribers. Thank you so much to all of you that have subscribed. I've said it before and I'll say it again. It really inspires me when you guys subscribe and like the videos. It inspires me to continue making videos. So I want to say thank you. So I'm giving away a $15 Amazon gift card. Now, to enter, just go to this website right here. It's self-explanatory. There's a couple ways to enter and you can get a couple different entries to the giveaway. We're gonna let it run for about 2 weeks. We'll close it down and then I'll notify the winner. If you're not already a subscriber on the channel, go ahead and subscribe and hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when future videos come out. I'm gonna do Tesla news videos probably every other week to keep you guys up to date, but I'm also gonna do some travel videos, some SpaceX videos. So if any of that interests you, check it out. Also feel free to swing by the website, brentely.com, and you can check out some of the blog postings there that I may not make a video for. All right, enough about the giveaway. Let's get back to the news. For Hardware 3 cars, the latest update brought some awesome improvements to the visualization on the center screen. You can now see around the car cones, stop signs, stop lights, speed bumps. The handicap parking spots now show up for auto park features. It's a drastic improvement. Now, there are some bugs still in it. A lot of things are turning up as trash cans, but Tesla's going to continue to work on that and make it even better. It's just really impressive to see how far the software is coming and how much closer we're getting to full self-driving. Along with the Hardware 3, if you don't have Hardware 3 and you have Hardware 2.5, but you did pay for full self-driving, Tesla has started the Hardware 3 retrofits on people's vehicles. There was one person, I read a story, she went into Tesla to get some service or maintenance done, happened to ask if they had the parts. They said yes. Can they do it? Yes, we can. They said, come back tomorrow, pick your car up. It actually ended up taking about 5 days. Now, they had some issues, some hiccups, but they worked through it. And this is to be understood as this is the first set of Hardware 3 retrofits that are being done. I read another user's posting where he had his Hardware 3 retrofit done at his house. Tesla mobile service came out. It took him about 5 hours and all was done. So if you have a 2.5 car and you're wanting to get the new computer, call your local service center. They might have something. They might be able to schedule an appointment for you. They are being shipped the equipment right now to go ahead and start scheduling those. Just know that it may take a couple days unless you wait long enough and they get all the bugs worked out. Then it should be a pretty quick process. A couple neat features to keep an eye out for in updated firmwares that will be coming out soon. Bluetooth connectivity is going to be tied to the seat occupancy sensors. There's nothing worse than opening the car door while you're on a phone call and the phone pairs to the car, and now you have to hurry up and get in. Some Twitter users took to Twitter to ask Elon, hey, is there a way to tie in the seat sensors so it waits until you're actually in the car? He said, yes, we can probably do that. Another upcoming feature was brought to Elon's attention by some cyclists. They live in major metropolitan areas and noticed that people don't always check their mirrors prior to opening the doors. This is dangerous as they either have to swerve into traffic or they hit the car door. They said, hey, is there a way to use the sensors to notify the driver someone's coming up from behind so that we don't get hit with a car door? He said, yep, we can absolutely implement that. This month, a lawsuit was brought against Tesla regarding unintended acceleration. The lawsuit claims that Tesla vehicles have been reportedly accelerating on their own with no driver input whatsoever, causing them to run off the road, through fences, into buildings, causing damage. Overall, just a bad situation. When I first heard this, I was skeptical and I didn't think that this was actually a thing. After reading Tesla's official response on their blog, on their websites, they said they've reviewed all of the instances in question, they've looked at all the car data, and they've determined that the cars performed exactly as they were supposed to perform, meaning no automatic acceleration that was not commanded. So the drivers did something, caused the vehicles to move. The cars did not move on their own. I'm sure this will go away fairly quickly. Tesla has reached out to Tesla Semi reservation holders in a leaked email this month, reporting that a limited production run of Tesla Semis will begin second half of 2020. They also stated that the trucks are going to have about a 600-mile range as opposed to the original 500-mile estimated range. They're also going to do 0 to 60 in about 5 seconds without a trailer and be able to reach highway speeds in just under 20 seconds with a full trailer. This is exciting news as we're all waiting to see the Tesla Semi driving around on our highways. And being an all-electric semi with independent motors and all the technology package that's going to be stuffed into those vehicles, they should be a lot safer than traditional diesel-powered semi-trucks. Model Y sightings have been popping up all over California from regular roads all the way up to snowy mountain passes. Now, this is evidence that Tesla is getting much closer to the final certification of the vehicle and deliveries, hopefully first part of this year. Now, the CARB certification, which is a huge requirement from the state of California, was just received by Tesla. The certification reports just over 400 miles of range, and the website is showing about 280 miles of range. So it's not unreasonable that the car might actually come with closer to 300 or 330 miles of range. We're expecting to see the first deliveries as early as next month, February 2020. Now, this is not unreasonable as the Model Y shares about 75% of its DNA with the Model 3, so the factories are already set up to produce most of the parts, and minor tweaking, minor adjustments to the Model Y line will help them start pushing cars out possibly sooner than expected. Last but not least, the Model 3. The Model 3 was just pitted against a whole bunch of other electric vehicles in a battery range test. All cars were charged to 100%, and at the start of the test, they were at 95%. As they set out and drove, they drove until the batteries went empty, and these are the results. The Model 3 came in first with 270 miles of range. Kia e-Niro came in second with 255 miles of range. The Jaguar I-Pace did 223 miles, the Nissan Leaf did 208, the Audi e-tron did 206, and the Mercedes-Benz EQC only did 196 miles. Now, All cars were driven to the same standards in the same location, so it's completely fair, but is anyone really surprised that Tesla won this test? Tesla's battery technology has been at the forefront of EV battery technology, and actually they just hired a new chief of their battery operations division in Canada to try to get even more mileage out of the batteries and make them even more efficient. The camera above the rearview mirror of the Model 3 was originally designed for the Tesla rideshare network and the autonomous robotaxis. Now, that hasn't quite come around yet, but some Twitter users are asking Elon if there's a way to incorporate that camera into Sentry mode. The camera's on the outside of the car, take a look at the outside, but no one knows what happens inside if your car gets broken into. Elon said, yes, that's a good idea. We're going to add functionality to the Sentry mode to be able to keep an eye inside your car during any intrusion alerts. And finally, the Model 3 is decimating its competition in the luxury sedan category. Ever since the Model 3 was released in 2017, other auto manufacturers have noted a decline in vehicle sales while the Model 3 has continued to increase. At the end of 2019, other automobile manufacturers are averaging around 50,000 vehicles while the Model 3 is at 150,000 cars sold. And that's your Tesla news for January 2020. Sorry it was a little bit long. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, give it a like, drop a comment down below in the comments section. If you're not already a subscriber, click subscribe and click the bell so you can be notified when the next video comes out. We're doing Tesla news probably every other week. So as always, good to see you. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.